We're in Valdez, Alaska, doing a little coastal build project, I guess. Not very remote, basically in town, but a pretty nice area of town. Big cottonwood forest around here. Mountain views every direction you look. It's pretty dramatic. Weather's been beautiful. We're actually at Audrey's mom's place. Audrey's dad, Jane's husband, passed away, what, 5 years ago? He was a contractor, builder, window specialist, did all kinds of things. And I have the distinct pleasure of being here at their family property, using all of Steve's old tools to build a greenhouse for Jane and Karina, Audrey's sister, Steve's daughter. They live here on the property in Valdez, and so we're building a nice greenhouse for them so they can extend their short growing season in Alaska. Valdez is known for heavy snow loads and wind, and so I'm building a very heavy duty greenhouse meant to withstand Valdez proportion snow, and not super windy here, I doubt, but got a nice bank of trees, but building it for some wind too. So here it is. And we're also, the design is basically around, Steve had saved up a bunch of materials, lots of windows, and he had saved up 2 enormous 5-foot by 8-foot windows there on these walls here. So those kind of became the defining dimension for this greenhouse. Actually, was wanting to use these giant windows. They got double openers, so there's one on this wall and mirrored on that wall. So that's the main feature. 2x6 sort of stick frame construction around it, and they had a door that was a storm door, a 36-inch door, so just framed for a standard 36-inch door. And then the whole top will be sun tough poly panels to let all the sun and light in that we can. Also on this wall had another giant window, just an insulated glass unit that was, I think it's 5 feet by 34 inches. So it's going to be pretty nice in here. It's going to be a really swanky greenhouse, and it's built on skids, which were salvaged from the property as well. I've been using as much of the old materials around the property as possible. So they had some 6x8 pressure treated timbers. I kind of thought there was 4 of them at glancing at the pile. Turns out there was only 2, but I got my 12-foot lengths out of those. So this whole thing is set on a gravel pad, but it's on skids with the, leaving them the possibility of moving it. I kind of doubt it's ever going to move, but I'm building it as if it could move. So I did those 2 pressure treated skids, and then since I realized I only had 2 of them for my, I guess you'd call this a floor girt or something, but this was some salvaged glue lambs. They're 3-inch by about 11 inches, and they're notched into these timbers, the skids. And then come in here and I'll show you this little detail. One of the issues with a building on skids, especially one that's becoming this heavy, it's 10 feet wide and going to be about 12 feet long with the eaves, is you got to prevent the whole thing from self-destructing if you pull it. So I put these, are actually some cedar that was around the property, just 2x6s, but they're notched into both of the skids and then these girts. Can't get a little timber frame out, you know, can't build it without a little bit of wood notching. So there's my wood notch. Pretty critical spot there if you're dragging it to keep the whole thing from racking super bad. So this is day 4 of the project. Kind of did the foundation in the first half day, got the walls up the next day, got the roof up the day after that, and today I'm going to get the paneling on the roof and probably some plywood sheathing on the walls. It's getting pretty stiff, but it's definitely, I want to put a little sheeting on these walls that have these giant windows. That's a big piece of glass if this thing ever does get drug around or has extreme snow load issues. One of the things is you can get a lot of snow when it comes off your structure. It can make everything shake pretty violently. So I want to beef up these giant window walls. It's a big open area of glass. So I'm going to do 5/8 CDX plywood sheathing on the outside of these walls at least. I don't think I need it on these gable walls because they're pretty stiff now. I've got them tied into the rafters really well. 2x4 purlins and blocking all the way around so that you get closure for the roofing. It's kind of fiddly details. It's a lot of blocking up there, but I didn't want all of our hot air going out and the bugs coming in, so I'm just about to go up and lay out the roof panels and make sure they get the coverage I need and decide how thick of fascia boards I can put on. It's kind of hard to figure exactly how much coverage I'm going to get, but the initial design was I came from Anchorage with 12 pieces of Sun Tough, and so I started with the roof and everything built down around that and these two windows. So now is going to be the moment to make sure my panels actually cover the whole roof with my 1 foot overhang. I think it's going to work, but that's the stage I'm at. Uh-oh. I'm gonna act like I know what I'm doing now. Cameras are on. 37. Well, believe it or not, this is one of the easier parts of this whole project so far, using this very well patinaed, used to be galvanized corrugate metal roofing, I guess. This is an extreme case of patina. Even got some holes in it, but it was basically just left laying in the weeds for probably a decade or more after it was salvaged off of something. But anyhow, it's very trendy, so that's good, and the price was right. It was free. It was also just laying here on the property, so kind of mix and matching. I'm gonna cut the window out there after I get it laid across, but it's going pretty well. I was gonna do the standing seam because they have a whole bunch of this laying around too, but it was just gonna be really complicated with the trim and how to end the walls and stuff. So found this corrugate wavy wiggle pattern, and it's going a lot better, I'm sure. We have a window over here put in with this little trim board. There was a little bit of cedar 3/4 inch stock in one of the connexes, so have that trimmed out, and the corrugate will go up against that. But this other window is just an insulated glass unit thing, and so it's gonna have to have all kinds of build out around it. It's not just a vinyl window, so I'm not really sure how that's gonna go. I probably should have put that window in first, but I was eager to see how the siding went up. Make sure it was actually what I was gonna do. So it's got a lot of character. This is one hip greenhouse now. Hipster house. Great for hotboxing your plants. Oh dear. It's got some reclaimed wood, reclaimed windows, reclaimed siding. Cedar, spruce, fir, hemlock, plywood, broken glass windows. Okay, 37.
Looking good. I really like the green eaves with the patinaed metal. It's like one of my favorite color combos. Yeah, it's one heck of a greenhouse. It's looking amazing.
Audrey needs to take a deep breath. Well, hey, you be quiet, kid. Okay, this is the super hipster reclaimed. I mean, really, it's just a hipster hot box. Well, not really. It's a greenhouse for Audrey's, is it safe to say widowed mother? Is that PC? Widowed mother. Anyhow, it's was it 8 days, I think? 8-day project from just a gravel pad to what you have there. And most of it that you see is built from reclaimed materials from around the property here. Audrey's dad, Jane's late husband, Steve Cotter, had a roofing business and a window business and carpentry and contracting. And he was a bit of a homestead hoarder like me. And there's a lot of materials buried in the weeds around here, including a whole bunch of this galvanized siding that is the main visual element of this whole structure now, which I had no idea about before we came here and started building that it even existed. And I was actually going to do standing seam roofing because there's a lot of that around too, but ended up deciding to go for this ever popular rusty galvanized, which some extreme patina on this. There's even holes in it for ventilation, but it's really pretty cool. It's like every square inch is like an art project. And there's a little, it's actually rusted through in some spots, but pretty cool, and that's okay for a greenhouse, I think. So the main design is actually about this SunTough panel, the size of it, because I bought 8-foot sheets to fit in the trailer to come down from Anchorage. We're in Valdez, and so I wanted to not trim my pieces, so it ended up being about a 14-foot wide roof, and I had 12 panels, so I was able to do about 12 feet long as well. And there was a couple extra panels here, so I did these side lights by the door. And this was a storm door that was on the property. Makes a nice greenhouse door. I guess let's do a little walk around first. 2x6 rafters, 8-foot 2x4 wall or 2x6 walls. I did fascia boards, and there wasn't any eave flashing, but there was gable flashing, so don't have that. These windows were salvaged from another project somewhere. They're huge, 8 foot by 5 feet, I think. There was 2 of them. They have 2 openers, enormous windows. I'm sure they'd be very expensive if you had to buy them, but they were taken off of a building at some point, and I don't know what he was thinking of using them for, but when I saw them, I thought, wow, that's like a whole half a greenhouse right there. Oh, the back also has another big reclaimed window, and kind of more of the same extreme patina. I guess we can walk all the way around. I didn't have enough trim to do all 4 corners because I was little salvage cedar from the property. So on these back corners, I just did a metal little corner detail thing. But on the front, there's actually cedar corner boards. Kind of used up all the scrap wood that was around the property. Squeaked out the last pieces. But come on inside. These storm doors are kind of funny. They're meant to go inside of a jamb of a normal door. Stay outside, really. They're meant to go inside a jamb of a normal door. And so they're kind of strange sizing. But this is, I wanted to make a standard 36-inch door opening in case they ever wanted to put a normal door in here. But then I had to fur it out with these jambs to make it fit the storm door. It's kind of funny, but it's a good greenhouse door. So put some benches on the sides, just some big heavy-duty planter benches, I guess. This whole thing could use a lot more shelves, but we are out of time. Got to go back to Homer. So this is how it ended up. Got a couple more shelves on the edges here, but it's a little ridiculous for a greenhouse. Like, this is just a glass panel, so I had to do full jams and all the stuff. It was a little bit over the top. And then while I was at it, I couldn't help but do some nice window sills for these windows and also trim them out. I held back. I didn't actually trim completely out. But I did these. I think they're called, I don't know what those things are called. But nice big window sills for shelves. And I think it's going to work great. It's definitely holding heat. It's got a crushed gravel floor. And the whole thing is actually built on skids that could definitely get drug. It's pretty herky. It's got a 6x8 treated timber on the sides, 2 of them, and then this 3x11 11. It was also salvaged on the property. All the foundation was, and some big jointed in braces. So it's pretty heavy building at this point, but I think it would drag just fine if they needed to move it around here. But I doubt it's going to move. I think it's going to be here forever. So